All right, welcome to Spark It Up Sports, your one-stop shop for all things football and all things marijuana.
I'm Big Steve.
And I'm Johnny.
We're coming to you from our home studio in Pacific Beach, California. Welcome to episode 27. We're down to two teams in the NFL.
Absolutely, the end is near. Great Sunday of football. The two best teams in the NFL will play for the Super Bowl in New Orleans in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And two best teams are in it. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs against Saquon Barkley and the Eagles.
Absolutely. Saquon leaving his New York Giants longtime home, coming to the Philadelphia Eagles, hoping to lead them to a Super Bowl, playing against Kermit the Frog and the rest of his Muppets.
The Muppets are back, baby. They did it again, looking for the three-peat, uncharted territory for that three-peat, so... definitely exciting to see.
Excited to see. We got 2 weeks time till that game, so a little bit of...
Got to get our research in. Huge thing for those games is prop bets. So.
Oh, love the prop bets. I have more money on prop bets than I think I got in the actual game.
What you got? Prop bets. You got how many boards? What are those boards called?
Oh, the squares. Love
squares.
Yeah,
how many squares you got?
I'm already at 4 or 5 squares. Big Kev bought me 2 squares today.
There you go. Keep
Shout
them
out
coming.
Big Kev.
All right, so topics for this week. We're going to do the review from yesterday, conference championship. We're going to go over the coaching hires. A couple more have been hired. One left without it. Our teams, you introduced your coach today.
Absolutely. Vegas Pete is live on the roulette tables in Vegas. Fresh off the press conference, straight into the tables.
He's there. And then we're going to do a little Super Bowl preview, but we're going to be diving into that a little more in the next episode.
Absolutely. So. All right, Bills at Chiefs. 29-32 win for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and this was the game of the weekend. Maybe Super Bowl if they were in different conferences. So, but once again, and no surprise to anybody that's watched football the last 3 years, the Chiefs did it. Third straight Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. They know how to win, and they keep winning.
Absolutely. I mean, what is this? 4th time since January 2021 that the Chiefs have ended the Bills' season in the playoffs. So
yeah, so the stat I saw was since 2021, they've played each other 8 times. They're 4-4 against each other. The Bills are 4-0 in the regular season. Chiefs are 4-0 in the playoffs when it matters. So
absolutely,
there's something to be said about knowing how to win and going out there and doing it.
Absolutely. Mahomes, great day for him. 18 for 26, 245 yards, 1 touchdown pass. 11 rushes for him, 43 yards, and 2 rushing TDs.
Yeah, first time in his career he has ever had 2 rushing TDs in a game, which is absolutely blows my mind that he does not have 2 rushing because he's pretty mobile.
It's absolutely very mobile, known for using his legs, and
I think he's known more in the playoffs for using his legs, because I seem like every year in the playoffs, when they're down and out, he makes the play with his legs.
He makes the play.
When you least expect it. He took a couple hits going in the end zone, too, which, regular season, he ain't doing it. But playoffs, dude, he's getting in that end zone.
Absolutely. And the Buffalo Bills definitely had a chance to definitely compete in this game. They decided to go for it 2 times.
Oh, yeah.
And failed both times. So that's 4 points left off the board right there.
Left them off the board.
And at the end of the game, Bills definitely had a chance to win. Josh Allen lofts up the ball. Dalton Kincaid almost comes down with it. Barely through his fingertips.
Oh, man.
He's coming back for the ball, so it's a little bit...
I know. I mean, 100%. But the thing is, I saw someone talking, Patrick Mahomes' teammates make that play.
Yeah.
And you win a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Josh Allen's teammate didn't make that play, not in the Super Bowl. That's the difference. Travis Kelce, do you think he's going to catch that?
I mean, we'd hope so.
But that's the difference,
that's the difference.
think.
Absolutely.
Mahomes players make those plays, and Josh Allen, the players around him, didn't make it.
And there you go. For the 2nd week in a row, tight ends not holding up their end of the bargain.
Tight ends are getting a bad rep this AFC playoffs for sure. Josh Allen did have a good game. He was 22 for 34, 237 yards, 2 TDs. He also had 11 rushes for 39 yards. No turnovers, so you think like that would have put him over the edge. Mahomes had the one early in the game. I thought that was literally a turning point because they were going in to at least get a field goal, and to see him fumble there, I was like, oh shit, that might be the play. But
Absolutely. Funny part was on that play, remember the previous play right before it, they had also gotten a forced a fumble, but he was offside, so they got the ball back.
Yeah.
And by the luck of the draw, ball doesn't lie. They get the ball right
Ball
back.
doesn't lie, dude. It's crazy how that works.
Right. James Cook, great day for him. 13 carries, 85 yards, 2 TDs. Kareem Hunt on the other side, 17 carries, 64 yards, 1 touchdown. And Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, great day in the air for him. 6 receptions, 85 yards, and 1 touchdown. The Chiefs now become the 4th franchise to reach 3 consecutive Super Bowls.
None of them have ever won 3 in a row, so let's see it this time.
History's about to be made.
All right. One thing I want to make note of is that James Cook rushing touchdown where he like spins all the way around, and I don't know how the hell he got that
Great
ball
play.
in the end zone without going down was unbelievable.
That was honestly a 5-yard stretch of him in the air.
Insane.
Somehow
How the
twists
fuck
and
he got his
turns.
hand down and got the ball in, dude?
While
That was
he's twisting. It's insane. Great play.
awesome play. Maybe one of my favorite plays of the weekend for sure.
Also, big thing in this game was a huge shout out to the Kansas City defense. They did their homework. They knew exactly where Josh Allen was going to run every single time he had the ball in his hand.
Spagnola's
Great
had
scouting
that D
report.
fired up and ready to go for sure.
And honestly took Josh Allen's legs from right out underneath him.
That's what you need. Let's go ahead and spark up one of these blunts
Yeah, before we forget.
before we forget again.
All right, for this week's treat of the week, we have the Ape Marshmallow OG.
Ooh, nice. Let's
Right.
go.
Spark it up, Spiky.
This thing's killing me, dude. I'm throwing this out after the show.
Yeah, just use that one.
No way, it's personal now, dude. What kind was it? The ape? Oh, we've got these before.
Yeah, just
they're
different
good.
flavor. New flavor, Marshmallow OG.
Nice. Give me the mellows.
Pretty tasty. I like these things. They're fat.
Yeah. Glass tip, burn well. All right. On to the next game.
Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles, 23-55 win for the
many
Philadelphia
fucking points. 55 points, most points ever scored in a conference championship game by a team since the merger in 1970. And this game had more rushing touchdowns by a team ever in the postseason. They had 7 total rushing touchdowns by the Eagles.
Insane. What a game. Saquon Barkley really taking the game on his back, putting the entire Philadelphia Eagles team on his back.
The way the game started, Washington goes down there, 18-play drive, run the clock. They only get a field goal, but they get points, dude. So you're like, all right, they're in this. We're going to have a game. And then the Eagles' first play from the line of scrimmage on offense goes for a 64-yard Saquon touchdown. Like, couldn't have gone any worse for the Commanders.
Absolutely. And I've seen this play on TV, I think,
Already
30,
100
40 times. And the blocking scheme that they have, A.J. Brown executes a perfect block. Jordan Mailata comes around on the pole. He's blocking
Their
a
receivers
safety.
block, which is like big, having your receivers block.
And then not just that, but if that receiver's blocking and Jordan Mailata gets a free release, now he's paired up on a small cornerback, and he just
Right.
bowls him over. And Saquon Barkley has a free
Saquon
run.
does the rest. He makes like 2 or 3 guys miss, cuts it to the opposite side of the field, and he's gone, dude. No one's catching him. And at that point, it was like, all right,
That was,
hang on to
on to your
britches
seat.
on that one.
and then it's a great day for Jalen Hurts. 20 for 28, 246 yards, 3 TDs for him. Played with a brace the entire game, but showed no signs of slowing whatsoever.
No, none at all. He played maybe the best game he's played in weeks, like all
Absolutely.
year.
And the funny thing is going into this game last week, we talked about it. We were concerned about this knee. We thought he tore something. We thought for sure.
Sirianni played it along all week. Like we're gonna keep a close eye on him.
He said they were going to be day to day with him. It didn't even look like he was affected by it.
If anything, he played better.
And
like we passed the ball well, no interceptions.
And like we said, they did a great job of scheming it. It seemed like Jalen Hurts wasn't even injured at all.
So. Seems like he brings his game to another level in the playoffs. Like he becomes elite in the playoffs, doesn't have the turnovers. He's dialed in when these games start, and he's ready to go.
Playoff Hurts.
Yeah, playoff Hurts. Like 3 rushing touchdowns by your running back and quarterback. I don't think that's ever happened in NFL history. Like, fucking awesome. And the week before, we said if they get out and they run the ball, like, they're going to be hard to compete with, and that's exactly what they did.
And we were worried about Saquon getting 45 or 50 carries. He only needed 20 something.
They took him out at the end. They let Will Shipley get in there, and he got a touchdown, and he had 77 yards rushing. So.
Absolutely. We were asking for 45. He got 15.
Didn't even need
it. JD5, Jaden Daniels, always showing signs of brilliance in these games. 29 for 48, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Did have 6 rushes for 48 yards and 1 rushing touchdown as well.
I mean, he almost single-handedly kept him in this game.
I mean, unfortunately, he's looked like the only star power out there for the Commanders this entire game.
Yeah, Ertz had a pretty good game, but the big thing for the Commanders was the turnovers.
Yeah.
Eckler had a turnover.
Jerry McNichols, Diami Brown, all added fumbles as well. Right. 4 turnovers in a game. It's hard to win a game.
It felt like every time they got something going, sure enough, there was a fumble, whether on offense or special teams, and like just kept shooting themselves in the foot. They got it kind of close in the second half, but just couldn't get over that hump. And then next thing you know, it's 55 to whatever. So definitely got out of hand for them in there.
One of the craziest things in this game, Washington Commanders trying to stop the famous tush push.
The tush push. Oh my gosh.
And happens so many times that once again, refs warn the Commanders about committing the same foul numerous times will result in a personal foul.
Exactly. And an automatic touchdown.
And continued to happens one more time. Refs go to the Commanders again, tell them that if the play continues, they will award the automatic touchdown. This play is called the palpably unfair act.
The palpably unfair act, it's called.
And apparently, if a team commits the same penalty more than 2 times, their NFL refs are allowed to award the touchdown. When the ref gets
sick of calling it, they just give them a touchdown, dude. They're wasting everybody's time. The NFL's like, get the fuck out of here. One more time, it's over. So.
Absolutely. Me from rugby, I'm familiar with this rule. Same thing. If you commit a foul 3 times, you're usually kicked out of the game, or the ref will award points to the other team. So.
Yeah, that's awesome that you already knew that. I had never really heard that rule before, so still learning something new every game, I feel like.
And rugby, it's called an egregious act, is what they call it. So same thing.
Right.
A palpable act, egregious act, same words.
I'll tell you what, though, it's fucking awesome seeing him flying over the top of the D-line and the O-line. And, like, the first one was cool because, like, he kind of hit Jalen Hurts. The second one, Jalen Hurts just, like, they all just, like, backed up. They knew he was coming, dude, so they're just like, all right.
It was funny because, so it's Commanders linebackers name's Frankie Louvu.
Yeah.
Reminded you a lot of that Troy Polamalu.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you noticed earlier in the game, he had a play where he jumped the snap count. It was a run play. Jalen Hurts was about to hand it off to Saquon, but he jumped the snap count, and he actually did it right. Didn't get a penalty, and he wrecked that play like 4 yards in the backfield. So he was trying to do that again, and they literally talked about Troy Polamalu when he did that because his timing was absolutely epic. And then once you got down to the goal line, he could not get that timing down. And we were talking about the tush push, and like the offense knowing when they're going and having the snap count is what I feel like is the big difference in that play.
It's a huge advantage. I mean, they know the snap count from the huddle,
right?
So defense is all going off a full reaction, whether it's reaction to the ball or reaction to the man in front of them.
Yeah, and that's how you can get people to jump off sides is because, like, they think you're going to go right away, and then in the huddle you're like, okay, I'm going to tap you on the ass, and then you wait 3 seconds and then snap it, and everybody's on the same page, so he taps him on the ass, dude thinks it's a snap, and then he waits 3 seconds. Delay it, defense has no clue, penalty, so.
And we were talking about it early. Thoughts on the tush push? Is it something we get rid of? Is it something we modify? What are your thoughts?
I think it's gonna get modified. I think they're probably gonna get rid of the pushers in the back. I like what you were saying though. Like I like the play. Like
Yeah.
it's a great football play.
Great football play.
And everybody can run it, but not many people can run it like the Eagles do. So everybody has a chance. So it's like just because one team can do it and they do it well, you can't just get rid of the play. So
and the reason the Eagles have gotten so good at it is because they've practiced it for the last 4 years.
4 years,
They've
and
developed
Jalen
it.
Hurts squats 600 pounds. What other
Exactly.
quarterback is squatting 600
pounds.
pounds back there? I don't think so.
And we had this conversation earlier. Why not run it with another player? Is that a possibility?
It's definitely a possibility for sure, but Derrick Henry taking a snap, I just don't think he's sure-handed enough to like get those snaps and get the ball and get it. Because like Jalen Hurts has probably taken millions of snaps in his life because he's been a quarterback forever. So literally, he's taken millions of snaps. So like that's just like second nature, and it's usually in a very very important situation in the game, like a 4th and short, 4th and goal. It's like. It's nut cutting time when this shit's going on. So
Are
I
you
don't
gonna
know.
trust somebody that doesn't take
you're
you
gonna
on
put
a
Derrick
regular-
Henry under there and be like, "Here you go, dude." Like theoretically, it's awesome, but I just don't know if like that exchange because even Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts had a couple tough exchanges on those short yardage plays. So
Absolutely. And let's not forget about how tough it is on those guys up front. They're literally
oh my god, it's fucking dogpiling, dude. That's a lot of meat, a lot of man. Just it's a disaster in there.
But just like in true football, low man always wins. And these Philadelphia Eagles, they do a great job of getting that low man.
Yeah, they seem to always get down there, and they always get that first. Not always, but probably 70% of the time, I feel like.
Absolutely. And key to this, Philadelphia advances to its second Super Bowl in 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. Definitely, they have been. They got a good track record, and they added Saquon, and that's the difference this year.
Absolutely. Saquon is the difference.
Yeah.
And I think these two teams are very similar. All right? They both have good quarterback play. They both have good receivers. The difference here is the running back play. Saquon Barkley is 10
I
times
think
better.
Patrick Mahomes is 10 times better than Jalen Hurts. I do. I just think Patrick Mahomes is way, way better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But running game, you are right. Eagles 100% take the cake in that. No if, ands, or buts about it. Yeah, hands down. I do think the Eagles' offensive line is better than the Chiefs also. Like, their offensive line is good. They did have injuries, though. Their center, Jurgens.
Landon Dickerson
Dickerson had the knee, and he went out of the game. Jurgensen came in the second half. He wasn't playing because of his back, and when Dickerson went out, he went in. So,
but wasn't Dickerson also playing center instead of playing guard?
Yeah,
because their
and then
center
he got
was
hurt.
out. Yeah.
He had to leave. So their offensive line, they got 2 weeks to get that figured out. So I'm sure they'll all play. There's no way
I'm sure everybody's playing
they
in
got
the Super
2 weeks.
Bowl.
I'm sure their offensive line will all play. They may not play the whole game or whatever, but they are going to start that fucking game.
Absolutely.
Sure.
The good thing is here you have 2 weeks off to get ready.
Yeah. Yep.
Rest up. All right, that brings us to our NFL and Pro Bowl Super Bowl preview, brought to you by our friends over at Negus Coffee Club. Comes in beans or ground, has some fire flavor notes. The one we got here is Ethiopia blend, made with fire and made with notes of berry and black tea. Real fire.
Real fire. You got that weed hangover in the morning. Get that cup of Negus coffee. You'll be on the go, ready to go.
All right, Sunday, February 2nd, Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. I didn't even realize they still had a Pro Bowl until we started doing our notes. It's not really a game.
It's not a game anymore. It's more of a little friendly competition.
What are the competitions they got going on in this Pro
year?
Bowl
We're going to have a flag football game, a quarterback competition, a best catch competition, a punt competition, a relay race, a trivia, dodgeball, and tug of war.
All right. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, these dudes should get the honors and the awards, but just do away with the whole
Maybe
day.
just name the
I'm not
team.
watching this anymore. The only thing I might want to watch is like, fuck, I don't even know.
I mean, to be honest,
Even
it's tough.
dodgeball isn't going to be that good. Like
The dodgeball one's good when some guy the guy's not paying attention, guy gets smoked in the
Smoked too.
face. You always get one good one of those.
right. I think the tug of war might be good if you get like some of them big dogs in that, but they're not going to be actually competing. I don't feel like it's all like.
Although a couple of years ago during that flag football game, somebody tried to run like a screen and someone came over and smoked somebody, and that was pretty funny.
Pull the old Sean Taylor, dude. Remember when he almost killed that punter?
Love to see it.
Oh, yeah. He smoked that fucking punter, dude.
All right. And then we have the opening line for the Sunday, February 9th Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Kansas City, minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. I am not surprised by this. They're rolling right now, and they've been there. They've done that. It's going to be cool to see that matchup again. I know everybody's hating on the matchup, but I think it is the two best teams. So, like, I'd rather see the two best teams play against each other than, like, say Washington gets in there and it's a complete blowout. I think the Eagles are going to give them a way better game.
Absolutely. This is one of the things, a lot of people have the narrative that Kansas City Chiefs, it sucks seeing them in this thing all the time, but you need to take that out of your head completely. The Chiefs deserve to be in this position.
Yeah, they've done it.
They are the best team in the NFL.
No hands down.
They've beaten all the other teams to get to this position, and now it's time to see if they can beat this year's other best team, Philadelphia Eagles.
This is it.
This is it.
Two best teams. So the NFL got it right as far as I'm concerned when that question's asked.
Absolutely. Two best teams, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Travis Kelce, star-studded.
Offensive line, Lane Johnson, Dickerson, and all the receivers, dude. Yeah, going to be a great game. I'm excited for this one.
Absolutely. All right. Let's do a little transition to the coaching carousel around the league.
Oh, yeah. We got, one team left without a coach. That's going to be the New Orleans Saints are the only one that have not hired a coach. When we talked on Friday, there were two teams left.
There were two teams left.
Dallas
and New Orleans.
Dallas hired their coach. Who'd they hire over in Dallas?
Brian Schottenheimer, son of Marty Schottenheimer, former San Diego Charger head coach. Brian Schottenheimer was the last Cowboy offensive coordinator, so he is very familiar with Dak Prescott and this offense.
Through the ranks. This one is, I think, the biggest surprise for me.
Absolutely.
Out of any of the coaching hiring.
We went from Dion to Brian, who is... I don't even think Brian was in the coaching. I didn't even know his name was...
No, except for Dallas.
Yeah.
He was not on anybody else's radar for this. So, Jerry Jones got himself a puppet, and hopefully the puppet gets things right. I don't even know.
It's tough. I mean, at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of this coaching carousel, everybody thought the writing was on the wall for Dion to come over, and it
never happened. He's staying in Colorado, which is still like a shock to me that he's going to stay in Colorado.
I mean, he looks like he wants to do the national championship thing. Good for him.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, the New Orleans Saints, they are still looking for their coach. They are interviewing Mike McCarthy today. The other top candidate available that they are looking at is Kellen Moore, who is the current offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. So he is only doing phone interviews at this time until the season is over.
So I think the Saints' job won't get decided until after the season because I think they definitely want Kellen Moore in there for an interview. So once that happens, I think they'll decide between Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy, depending how the interview goes. But that's just time will tell on that one.
So look for this one not to be filled until after the Super Bowl is played. All right, great news out of Las Vegas this morning. The Las Vegas Raiders flew in Spytech and Vegas Pete on the private jet, introduced them to the nation. Epic press conference meeting this morning. Marshawn Lynch in attendance gets the meeting started with a nice loud Raiders. Everyone's looking. It's Marshawn hanging out in the corner.
Do you think Marshawn likes the Raiders or the Seahawks better?
Raiders.
If he had to pick?
Raiders.
Raiders.
This is something that's very funny to me because he's there for Pete Carroll, even though Pete Carroll is the famous one for not handing him the ball on that. So this is...
Right.
I love that Marshawn's all in on the Raiders, and that's why I love this.
Right. Love to see it. Love to see it.
All right.
I got this one.
Yeah.
One thing that we did not mention last week, but we brought up that Aaron Glenn got hired by the New York Jets, is that the Detroit Lions are getting 2 extra third-round picks, one in 2025, one in 2026. And this is because of the Rooney Rule, which came about in, what year was it? In 2003, I think the Rooney Rule came about. It was where each team must interview at least one minority candidate prior to selecting a new head coach. Okay. So they added in 2020 to this rule where if a coach, or how's it go? Okay, so a team will get 2 third-round picks in the next 2 seasons if one of their coaches, a minority coach, gets hired as a head coach or GM of another team. So it's happened one other time. It was I can't remember who it was. But anyways, you get so this year, next year, you get an extra third-round pick. Those picks are added at the end of the third round. So pick 32 of the third round, there'll be a pick 33, pick 34, pick 35. Okay. So I think I don't remember exactly how many. I'm going to have to research it a little more. But so that's the reason they're getting the 2 extra picks, is because Aaron Glenn, the minority assistant coach, got the head coaching job of the Jets. So they got those extra picks, which third-round picks are kind of a big deal. Like, you can do something with some of those picks. So we'll see if they end up doing anything with them. But that's a kind of like a little, help you out. Here you go. Get the minority coaches in there. And when they get the job, here's a little reward for them. So
it's great. It's great. That's a great compensatory pick. I mean, that's awesome. It's a great way to get more coaches in the league.
Yeah, definitely for the minority coaches, getting them the jobs, and then I think Robert Saleh was the last one. Okay. Because he got picked up by the Jets. So I think San Francisco already used their 2 third-round picks.
And now they get Saleh back as a defensive coordinator.
Full circle. Loan him out.
Yeah. And you get 2
Go get your ass kicked for 2 years, and we'll take you back. And he should get to decide what happens with those draft picks. Those are his draft picks. They're his picks.
Oh, man, that's
hilarious.
Funny. All right. Aaron Glenn was introduced as the Jets head coach this morning.
Oh, so good.
And I think this guy is going to be a legend to watch. He's already had a couple good press conferences.
Press conference was awesome. How'd he start it off?
All right. Starts off by going to the press conference saying, "Put your seatbelts on and get ready for this ride. We are the frickin' New York Jets. We're built for this shit."
I love that he played for the Jets. So he already kind of gets it. And you got to come in there and you got to make a splash.
Absolutely.
Because they've been so bad for so long. And hopefully he's the guy to do it.
I hope so.
At least get him a winning record. Last time they won was with what? Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan?
Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan.
And it's just been a dumpster fire since then. So.
Before that, what? Chad Pennington and
yeah. Jeez. Yeah, the butt fumble, dude. Yeah. Heard around the world.
So Aaron Glenn also quoted saying, even though this is his first head coaching job in the league, he wants it to be his last. So hopefully
he wants to be there to stay.
He wants to be there to stay. I love it. The other thing was, before he closed out his press conference, he did talk about Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. He will go have a sit-down meeting with both of them.
Has to. He's got to address that first and foremost.
And I love that because no media even asked him a question. He was the one that came out and said it right off the bat, and I love that.
Well, he knows he has to because what happened there this year was a disaster. And they're bringing these people in to change that. You got to change it at the quarterback position. Either he's all in or get him the fuck out.
So I'm very glad that was addressed right in the press conference. Good to see.
All right, so the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson's been putting quite the staff together. Let's start it off. We have both coordinators. We hired an offensive coordinator. His name is Declan Doyle. He's only 28 years old. His last stint was with Sean Payton and the Broncos this year. He was the tight ends coach. He went to college at Iowa and was a student assistant. This is the only thing that concerns me about him because, like, you know, the Iowa offenses?
No good.
None. So I don't know what he learned from Iowa, but hopefully Sean Payton kind of took over after that. And we're getting the Sean Payton Doyle, not the Iowa one. So we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
right?
surprising.
He's only been in the league for 6 years. So this one actually, like, shocks me. Because Ben Johnson...
I mean, that surprises me. He's been in the league for 6 years. Did he come into the league at 22 years of age? That's insane.
Yeah. He went from assistant at Iowa to the Saints. He was with Sean Payton for the Saints. Then he stayed with the Saints under Dennis Allen. And then last year, he got a job when Sean Payton got hired with the Broncos again.
Okay.
So he's like Sean Payton's guy. Sean Payton really likes him. Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, they're on that Sean Payton coaching tree.
Sean
so
Payton,
that's where
Super
all
Bowl
that
winning
shit
coach.
comes from. Yeah,
I like that.
Our defensive coordinator also got hired. He is Dennis Allen. Sean Payton roots again, which I like. He knows how to win. His last stint, he was the head coach of the Saints. He got fired this year, week 9. They started off so good. I did not think he would be one of the coaches getting fired, and then they just went downhill. I do think that DC jackass is part of the problem. Like, everywhere he goes, he fucking loses. He doesn't win.
Not an MVP.
No, definitely not an MVP. He just can't do it. We've been watching him for how long?
Long time.
And you've been so hopeful the whole fucking time. Even this year you had him. It was time. And, like, he just can't do it. So, fuck, I went on a DC rant.
I like that. I like Dennis Allen, former Raider head coach, 2012.
Yeah, and I think, like, having someone that was a head coach this year on your staff is only going to help Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. He's been around the block, so he should be able to get in there, handle the defense. Ben shouldn't have to worry about that. If Ben needs help with anything or has any questions, he can lean on him for that. So I love that hire at D coordinator. Another assistant we got is Antoine Randall. He was he was the receiver coach with the Detroit Lions, former IU quarterback. I remember watching him growing up.
Absolutely.
Went to the Steelers, became a wide receiver, won a Super Bowl with them in Big Ben. He brings accountability to the Bears when it comes to, like, the wide receiver room and the players. That is one thing I felt like they lacked this year. Yeah. And you could tell by, like, Tyreek Stevenson shit, like all the dumb penalties. Like, we need that back. If you remember the Lions game on Thanksgiving, Jamison Williams does something fucking stupid, gets the penalty against Tyreek Stevenson. Mm-hmm. Antoine Randall, like, loses it on the sidelines. Like, can't be doing that shit, whatever. So, like, accountability is key. And I think with Romo Dunze in there, young player, he's going to be key to, like, bringing him up to speed and getting him going. So
I love that hire, especially with the crowded celebrity room. Like, you guys have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen.
We ain't bringing him back.
Maybe, you don't know.
I hope not.
But Antoine Randall gives you guys a good.
Yeah, he'll set the foundation in that room. He expects a lot out of the players, and he's going to get it out of them.
Yeah, I love it. That's a great hire.
Yeah, our staff is coming together. I like what we're doing. I like seeing the fucking Dallas Cowboys and what they're doing. I want to feel like we're over the hump of doing shit like that. I want to. I said I want to. But as a Bears fan, I know it's not going to happen. But I'm glad we're actually making moves and trying to put ourselves in position to be better than we were.
Absolutely.
Which is not happening in Dallas, and which I felt like hasn't happened in Chicago the last 6, 7, 8 years. So,
also, improvements coming to Vegas. Vegas Pete hitting the roulette tables tonight.
Vegas Pete. I mean, there's no way you guys are getting worse.
No, I mean, you brought in a Super Bowl winner. They can only get better from here. All right.
8 wins?
I like it. I'm saying 10 wins. 10 wins, Super Bowls.
10 wins and the Super Bowl run. Give him his second one.
Vegas Pete. All right. That's a wrap for this episode of Spark It Up Sports. Thanks for watching.
Like, follow, subscribe. Reminder for all of our fans. Podcast release every Thursday. You can find the video on YouTube. Audio can be found on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. Let us know what you think in the comments. Got a lot of good interactions out there.
Go Raiders.
Go Bears.